it's not that hard to make profits, but it's really hard to keep them and stack consistently.
But the truth is that's the stuff that messes you up. It's your mindset as you approach the markets. And it's even more important when you're in a community. And so what happens is people bring their emotions to their trades, and we have heavily examined profitable traders. So we know what profitable traders look like.
Today we're having a conversation with Zach, who I happened to meet in Uruguay just a month or so ago. And it was an incredible conversation that we had. Instantly after we met, we realized that we have to do something together or record at least a podcast session, which is happening now. Zach doesn't need an introduction in traders world, for he has been coaching and educating thousands of traders all around the world, teaching how to trade. And really, since it's the first episode of QuantSpace Podcast, why I'm thinking that this is a perfect fit to make this specifically with Zach, because every hedge fund manager, every quantitative trading firm has started with someone learning how to trade. And ultimately, this is the secret sauce and the starting point of every quant trading firm. So very warm welcome, Zach. And maybe we just start off podcast by asking, how many traders have you taught and taught over your trading cafe? And which patterns do you see across all of them?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me here. Yeah, it was awesome meeting you in person. I'm happy that we can hang out together in this podcast. Let's dive in. So we've been operational since 2022, and we fundamentally offer three types of educational products. So one is free. It's called the Trading Cafe, and our basic philosophy was to bring a genuine free education to the market. That was the point of the Trading Cafe. And we currently have about 86,000 active members there. The stats that sit behind how many hours of videos are being watched is astronomical. So we've got hundreds of thousands of hours worth of videos being watched every single year. So a lot of people learning there, and we have a great infrastructure where they can ask questions directly to traders that are actively trading the markets. Then we have entry point products, which is for people that just want to kind of dabble. We've had a lot of people go through that. I don't know the exact figure, but there's been thousands that have gone through that over the last few years. And then we have kind of our main flagship trading education, which is the big mama, which is called the Legacy Program. We call it the Legacy Program because we thought it was an apt name to kind of get people in sync with committing long term to learning this properly. And to date, it's only really been last year when we really finished the curriculum for teaching people how to trade properly. So over the last year since we finished the curriculum, although it's never actually finished, we keep on adding to it. Since then, we've taken 402 people from zero to trade the markets profitably. And so everyone that's actually completed our full curriculum, lots of people have started, not everyone's finished it, but those that have actually completed it are now trading profitably. So we've got over 400 people that have done that process so far. It's actually since over the last 9 months. So that's where we're at. We've got a big funnel on the front end, and it kind of filters through surprising results on the back end, if I'm honest.
So it's not just that you're teaching how to become profitable, but you have a very specific framework how to achieve this. And not many people, especially in a world where things are moving fast and everyone wants to make a quick buck now, and not want to be and willing to be staying in the long run and learning how to manage the risk properly. Can you tell us a little bit more about how long do they have to go through the process on the demo, and how they evolve into scaling up their positions and account sizes and all this?
Absolutely. So when we first started and we first launched, I got involved. My personal passion is learning shit. I love learning stuff. I love helping people learn stuff. I'm a big believer in people, and I think that when people learn properly, they're more capable than they think of achieving good things. And so I'm a big fan of learning education. And when we first began creating this infrastructure, it was a bit of a black box, really, because no one had actually really done it properly. You can't go to university and learn how to trade. If you go online, there is a gazillion people teaching people how to trade. But you're right. I mean, it is gunning for a quick buck. And so um, what you see is very shiny marketing, and then when you go to scratch beneath the surface, it's very basic information they get that doesn't actually lead them to success. We are a combination of two groups of people. So one group is traders that have been trading professionally for a long time. So these are people that have got decades of experience within the market as discretionary traders, and they have got success rates with that. So they've been profitable for a very long time, and they've seen everything there is to see. Not everything, but they've seen a lot of what needs to be seen. And the idea was that we would be working with a larger group of people. So we'd find traders, and then we bring them in, and then we can combine what they know with education structures that work. So there's kind of two answers to your question. One is how does someone become profitable? That's question number one. But the other question is how do you actually learn the elements of trading, right? So it's like, so what I mean by that is learning is the process of taking a piece of information and converting that into your long-term memory so you can use it. That's the process of learning. The process of trading profitably is more a question of self-control and self-discipline in combination with your knowledge. And so there are two kind of things you need to teach people. And so we attack those differently. We attack those problems differently. So the way we do it is this is, and I can deep dive into this to the nth degree as much as you want, but the way we built it was systematic. So it was like, okay, well, the first step is we need to teach them a strategy. And so what we did is we sat down with each trader and we spent many hours with them and we mapped out everything they do from start to finish. So this is just sitting down and mapping everything out. So how do you trade? What do you do? What problems do you face? How do you overcome the problems? What do you do in this situation? What do you do in that situation? And then we turn that into curriculums. So we extract everything. We ask them 1,000 questions, convert that into a curriculum. And then what we do is we take education principles that actually work and that are fun and that actually get people, and we get people to go through that curriculum. So that teaches them the mechanics of the strategy. And it allows them to have working use of the information, right? Because you've got consumption and you've got learning, two different things. I can go and I can sit and I can watch 10 hours of YouTube and think I've learned something, but all I've done is I've just consumed it because our brains are filters. Our brains are like, nah, not important, nah, not important. So you need to force your brain into realizing that something is important. You need to force it into seeing that. So that's step one, is getting them to actually learn the process of executing the strategy from start to finish. And so we do that in a very safe environment, away from demo accounts, away from live accounts. We do that with structured education is our fundamental principle. And then what happens is they then reach a point where they have a working knowledge of the strategy. And then what happens is we need to take them from that into trading live. So how do we do that? So the first thing we do is we get them to stress test what they know through backtesting. And with backtesting, there's kind of pros and cons to it. You can kind of retrofit, you can kind of mess with results a little bit, but net overall, it's a fundamental exercise for people to go through. So we put them through a lot of backtests. So they go and they do 300 backtests and they have to screenshot everything. They have to document everything and present it in this huge spreadsheet. Then that gets verified. So we check it over, and some students crush it. And some students don't crush it. They do the 300 back test, but there's problems. They've kind of messed around with things.
Half-ass
Then
it,
they have
then.
to redo it. Yeah. And so it's like, it's, because the thing is, I think the problem, the challenge that we have is when people are presenting their results to the community and to other students, you don't want to look bad, right? You want to present your best results as well. And
Accountability.
so, yeah, well, it's not just accountability. You don't want to look bad. Like, you don't want to look bad. And so that can also feed into making bad decisions behind closed doors because you want to be the best student. And everyone psychologically wants that. So that can also mess with your results a little bit. So, but the process kind of tweaks that out of them. It pulls it out of them, right? So that's the first step. The next step is they shift into a demo account, and we've got very strict rules around how they operate within a demo account. And if I had to summarize what those rules are, they're just annoying. They're really annoying rules. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that. You've got to stop here, you've got to stop there. You've got to post everything you're doing. You've got to keep track of a journal. You've got to write everything down. And it's just really annoying. But what it teaches you, there are some things that it teaches you and some. So one thing it doesn't teach you is how to handle real money. It doesn't teach you that. That's what demo account trading doesn't teach you. But we can simulate pressure using other mechanisms. So for example, we can put a limit on how much they're trading. We force them to stop once they reach a certain profit percentage. They have to write every single trade down. They have to keep account of all of their emotions throughout all the process. And so when you put in a structure around demo trading, you can actually teach them a lot of the psychological problems they will face. You can simulate those psychological problems to a degree before they go live.
It's basically building the good habits, because ultimately it's not that hard to make profits, but it's really hard to keep them and stack consistently. And the way you usually blow up is because you've ingrained so many bad habits in your trading that really it's just a matter of a time until something blows up. I'm speaking this from my own experience, because I've been trading manually for 5-6 years, and it's really not about that I can't win. It's just that I can't be able to keep the good habits that made this money in the first place over a long period of time. So that's what I've been personally struggling with, and probably I made a personal pause as well with trading as of now. So it's very hard to stack them and keep the good habits.
Being a profitable trader is a statistical edge over time. So it's not a statistical edge over like 5 trades or 2 trades. It's like over 500 trades, over 1,000 trades. It's over time. And you're 100% right. What messes people up is the time period. It's like you can be okay at the beginning, but like then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And these extraterrestrial things take place, and they're the things that mess you up, right? It's something that everyone struggles with. The way that we overcome that in our infrastructure is we're strict. We're very strict. So when I say we don't allow any type of gambling behavior, what that means is it means that all of our students that are trading the markets live, they post every trade that they are placing on a platform. And so we are getting, we're probably getting like 20 to 40 trades being placed every single day. And that's fed into their journal where all the stats are. And that's fed into a main journal where we collate all of their stats. So that's how we know who's profitable, because we're fed all of their trades and all of their results. And on average, everyone's profitable that goes through our process. It doesn't mean that everyone is profitable, but on average, everyone is. So obviously some people will be winning and some people will be losing. On average, we have an edge. But the way that we do it, the way that you overcome those psychological things is, well, there's many things that we do, but one thing that we do is we're very strict. So in that platform, if we see someone speaking about feelings, like, oh, this sucks, I can't believe this went against me, oh, I can't believe this happened to me today, we have a team that comes in and actions something. So we have a protocol for that. And it might seem really superficial, it might seem really OTT, but the truth is that's the stuff that messes you up. It's your mindset as you approach the markets. And it's even more important when you're in a community. And so what happens is people bring their emotions to their trades, and we have heavily examined profitable traders. So we know what profitable traders look like because we have them. The way they are is boring. Really boring, really, really dull, really non-emotional. It's like if you watch someone like stamp 1,000 pieces of paper, that's the energy that they bring to their trading. And they will have the same energy if they're losing or if they're winning. And they'll have the same energy in January if there is, if there's a war in Iran, if there is elections that are throwing the market haywire, the energy they bring will be the same as if they've just won 10 trades in a row. And so that's what we model after, is we aim to force roboticness into our students, which is a great foundation for their careers in trading. Because if you enter into your career with trading with that type of control and that restriction, you do it. But it hasn't been easy. I mean, it's been a very difficult journey for us to do this. It's not something that it's been complicated relationally, because you're having to tell people to go against their desires. You don't want to do the stuff that we say. Like you want to, if something goes wrong, you want to complain about it and you want to shout about how bad it was and how much it sucked. And we're like, no, back off, go take a walk, stop trading, reset your mind, go back to your rules and reset and let's start again. And so it's like, don't enter into that place of emotional battles. The other thing we have that helps them with this is every student that is trading with us in our flagship program, we have profiled. So we have a psychological profile on them. And then what we've done is we've created an AI support mechanism that they can speak with that has access to their personality profile, and it's trained on best practices. And so what happens is when they're trading, they can communicate with that AI support and say, this is what's happening right now. And because it's trained with the best practices and it knows how they operate, it's just one other mechanism they have to get back in control of the ship,
I see.
And then we also don't let them move on until they can demonstrate. So we've got some students that have shifted into trading with real money after 3 months, 4 months of demo trading, and they're into trading with real money. Some students, it's taken them 10 months and then they shift into. So demo trading is not for a year. It's until you can prove that you can control yourself.
Yeah, manage
And
your emotions and be under.
as
Mhm.
best as possible. And then we've just launched a beta mechanism for going live. So it's a slightly different mechanism of going from shifting into trading the markets live. We just launched that about 3 weeks ago. We're testing on just one strategy. So far, 7 students that are going through that process, and it's designed to get them trading live faster while still ensuring their mechanics are dialed in. So we're testing something new there. And we're seeing good results so far, which could shorten the length that people can go live. We've got students that have achieved it in 4 to 5 months, and we've got other students that's taken them a year and a half, 2 years. It kind of depends on many factors at each individual stage, because if you mess up one stage, it takes you longer. So yeah.
I believe that it's true. Like, and this is my philosophy that trading is a self-development tool for each and every person on planet Earth. There is a hidden trader waiting for it to be revealed. You can trade on 1 hour, you can trade on weekly, you can trade on daily, but and some people are very talented in trading. It comes as a natural sort of way of showing their personality and very easy. However, for some, it's very hard to conquer. And I've seen a lot of people also throughout my trading career, and sometimes I'm just my mind is baffling, like how easy it comes to him and becoming profitable already 3 to 4 or 5 months, whereas others struggling for a decade. And really, as we already spoken to about majority of the most talented traders, they basically started with a mentor. They didn't have any bad habits to begin with that they themselves learned by their natural instincts. Yeah, I think this is one of the things that separates successful people from others. Even though it takes longer at first, it's actually going to save you years and millions of different emotions in the second part that otherwise they would go through. Just on a clarification question, so it takes anywhere from 3 months to 1.5 years to actually go live account. Am I understanding that correct?
We have 11 strategies that we've systematically broken down and we teach. So step 1 is to learn one of those strategies. And that takes, some people might get it done in a month, right? Because you can't, it's not just watching videos. You've got to do stuff, right? Because the whole idea, remember, is to make it usable. So we need to teach you the stuff. So there's things you need to do. So it depends on like your work and what's happening in your life. So that might take you, I think the quickest that I've seen someone go through it is probably like 3 to 4 weeks. Realistically, with a normal schedule, it's probably going to take you in the region of like anything from like a month and a half to 2 months upwards, depending on a gazillion factors, right? It's like how many kids you've got, how busy you are, how much time you dedicate a week. So some people, they study, they go away for a year, then they come back and then they finish, right? So it's like, it just entirely depends. So it's like best case scenario, it's going to take you like 1 to 3 months to learn a strategy. Then the testing phase, so we've got three, so it's like learning, testing, live. That's how we do it. The testing phase, again, it's like it's like there are specific things you need to do. We've seen students that have gone through that process at a minimum 4 months. So now we're at 6. And then in order to go live, you don't go live immediately. It's you've got to scale into your account. And so the scaling in, going from 0 to trading with 100% of your capital that you've allocated to trading, again, you want to have a diversified portfolio, right? Where you've got, different returns that you're getting, which is a big thing that we teach as well. So that might take you in the region of going from 0 to 100% of your capital will probably take you in the region of 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And so really at minimum, you're looking at going from 0 to profitable live in approximately a year-ish with our education.
Yeah.
And at the back end of that, what you walk away with is a very deep understanding of how to trade. So it's not like you just know the strategy. It's like you know how to trade and you know how to be profitable and you know how to navigate things. It's going to take you between 4 to 10 times slower without us. Statistically, it's going to take you. So if it takes you like a year with us, it's probably going to take you 4 to 10 years by yourself to do that. So if you look at like how long it will take someone, you're going to be looking in the region of reducing the time by 4 to 10 times, depending on who it is.
And also probably losing 100 times less money than on your own.
Well, you don't lose money with our process.
If you were to blow your own money on your misguidance and stupid mistakes, then that's probably where you would be sitting, just blowing hundreds of thousands. Even
Yeah,
worse,
absolutely.
putting your house on the line. Amazing. So thanks for that. Let's dive into the hedge fund structure that you're planning to launch, UK regulated FCA fund. So am I understanding that right? That the concept is that now that you have taught all these traders, they passed your school, the obvious thing to do as a next step would be to take all these great traders who are already profitable, put them into a prop fund, could say, give them capital, let them trade, do it in an uncorrelated way, and open this up for investors.
Correct. Yeah, because it's what investors are looking for. They're looking for diversification. They're looking for new products because it's products that most people are actually bored with the products they have access to. And so what they're looking for is everyone will have their 10-15% allocated to their higher risk investment strategies. And that's really where we sit. So we sit in a place we can focus on getting higher returns, your 30 to 80% return in a year. We can focus on getting those returns with the strategies that we use them. So that's where we sit.
Regulation in UK and FCA is relatively tough. I mean, you're in the process currently of getting the fund structure up. Do you want to give some spotlight on what have your struggles been so far in setting that up and all the operational burdens, which I believe are not easy to achieve, you know?
Some of it I can speak about, some of it I can't speak about. What I will say, it's been one of the most expensive and complicated processes that I've ever been through, has been this. And it is very complicated because the actual truth is that when we started this process of wanting to set up a hedge fund, me and my business partner had no experience, right? We'd never done it before. We were in a position. So the reason we actually did this was not because we wanted to set up a hedge fund or that's not what we wanted to do. Is what we wanted to do is we wanted to trade our own capital. But in order to do that, you had to be licensed. You can't just trade your own capital. And so that's what set us down this journey. And then now we're in a process. We made some big mistakes, some bad decisions that kind of elongated things unnecessarily. You have to really make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's with who you're working with, the process you're going down, how you're operating. Now we're in a very strong place. We don't have the license yet, but we're looking but we will have it, fingers crossed, before the year end, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. And so right now it's just working on the internal structure, outside of getting the license and that whole process, but the internal structure of um, just getting things up and ready so we're ready to rock and roll once it's live.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm just actually quite curious about all the hedge funds now. They basically run their bot shops and structures in a systematic, algorithmic way. There's little to no discretion. You're apparently seeming to be going the complete opposite direction. Do you think that there is a slight advantage hidden there, or an alpha that is hard to replicate?
Well, I mean, I mean, they go with what works, right? And what they want is they want diversification. When it comes to comparing a discretionary trader versus an algorithmic trader or a quant trader, at the core, they're actually the same. Like the foundation's actually the same. It's a question of dominating a series of rules and then executing it with precision over a long period of time. Where we're at right now, and the conversations that we've had with asset managers that managing very large portfolios, they're very interested in what we do. And they're very interested in how we operate. And I think the thing that they are probably interested in the most is that we have diversification across people and time zones. And so you can start a hedge fund with one trader and you can allocate them $100 million. Like that's the beauty of trading. It's infinitely scalable, right? It's like you don't need 50 traders. You don't need 100 traders. But if you do have 50 traders and they're all profitable, you're in a really good position because what then happens is you have survival of the fittest. You allocate money to the people that work. You're diversified across time zones, across strategies, across emotions. Although we are working with people, what we do have is we have diversification because of the fact that we have a factory that's training and making um, carbon copies of people that are already successful. That's what we're trying to do. But it's never exactly the same. You've got we have an instructor that they're based in Australia, but someone that's learning their strategy is based in America, and they're a completely different time zone. The conditions in which they're trading are completely different, um, and they have to develop mechanisms of navigating those differences. Um, and that's what gives the diversification to the fund and to the investors is that we allocate to what works best. And because we have people, it's access to diversification, I think, is the thing. And it's not to say that we're not interested in expanding into other areas. It's just where we're at right now and what we're doing. And we're kind of taking a brick by brick systematic foundational approach to things. There's always, an unlimited directions that you can go in our industry, in our world. Our focus is training people to make really good decisions. AI is a big topic in the world of trading, and it's like if you look at AI in the world of copywriting or writing stuff, AI can go and write something, but it doesn't mean it's good. You still need a human being that knows what good writing is to make a judgment call about whether it's good. And so training people to be smart and navigate complex market conditions and make complex decisions based on rules that are established gives them a really good foundation because we do have people that are entering into other areas. We've started bringing education around AI, and we're starting to do that now. But it all stems from them keeping their heads screwed on. Everyone wants a quick buck and they want to bypass them being good. And it's just like, I don't want to be good. I just want the thing you give me to be good. I don't want to know how to trade. I want to bot the trades for me. It's like, it'll work until it doesn't, right? And it's like the thing that gives you longevity is your skill and your knowledge to navigate that and be the driver behind the tool, because it's always man plus tools versus man plus tools, right? It's never, we're not in a place with man versus tool yet. We might get there in a few years, but we're not there yet. It's man plus tool versus man plus tool. And so that's where we're at. And so we've given a heavy emphasis to the man part. I'm not saying that our education doesn't have room for improvement. It absolutely does, because we're still working on it. We just released 2 new courses today. So we're not stopping. We're expanding at an amazing rate with our education, but get the man dialed in and then get the tools dialed in. And then you have a powerhouse with those two things,
Yeah,
whatever the tool is.
I see. Yeah, and I mean, if you don't teach a man how to cook, teach him how to catch a fish, no? So once you have the skill, no one can ever take it away from you. And I guess it's the same with today's AI as well. You know, if you can use the tools that are at our disposal, I mean, you are basically invincible in this environment and in this economy. This is a massive skill, and I mean, skills with any other skill as well. No one can ever take it away from you. So, yeah, great chat. Thanks a lot for your inputs. It's been a pleasure talking to you once again and having your experience being shared to all the viewers. I hope everyone enjoyed, and there is no doubt that they did. So thanks a lot, and wish you best of luck in launching the fund and